I got it.
Thank
We
you.
just started. All right. Hey, guys, I'm Dhruv Patel. I'm the vice president of ACE. I'm a third-year computer science major. I'm minoring in mathematics. I'm looking forward to actually interning at Citibank this summer. And the reason why I got into ACE was, one, just to get involved in a CS club. I was introduced to it from a friend freshman year, and when you're a freshman and you're trying to get involved, you go to all these clubs, there's hundreds and hundreds of people. You don't really feel you can get involved. But ACE was different. ACE, I kind of got involved right away as a mentee. And I honestly really found like a family of people that had very similar interests. And I was able to get close to people enough to learn enough professional development to land internships and do well in interviews and really succeed in my degree. So that was something really nice I got out of ACE.
Hey guys, my name is Caleb O'Malley. I am the ACE secretary. I'm a third-year computer engineering student, and I got into ACE because everybody that I knew from my high school that got into UF and everybody that I was friends with in my first semester at UF was a different major than me. So I figured it would probably be a good idea to start making connections so that I can succeed in my major. And the ACE has definitely helped me do that, to have all those helplines when I need extra study partners or something like that. So ACE has really been a good lifeline for me.
Hey guys, I'm Bobby. I'm the treasurer. I'm a third year computer engineering and mathematics double major. I am also interning at Citi, but I'll be returning for my second semester this summer. The way that I joined ACE is I was a freshman and I was looking to get a hot start on figuring out how to get an internship. And if you've been around for at least a semester, you'll know my friend Nate Stoll, who very enthusiastically came to me yelling, "You got to join this club. It's so lit. It is the key to academic success." And he was right, and I've been here since.
Speaking truth there.
Hi guys, I'm Christopher. I'm a second year computer science major, and I'm the project manager here at ACE. I'm looking forward to interning at Google this summer, and I joined ACE because I wanted a place where I could learn all sorts of new technologies and attend lots of workshops and learn some new skills, and that's exactly what we hope to bring you guys this semester.
Awesome.
All right, so the workshop committee applications are now available. You can see a post in the announcements channel, and you can also see a QR code down there in the bottom. That's something we're starting up this semester where you can get involved and you can help plan workshops and come up with ideas and host workshops to help bring your technical knowledge to other students in ACE. So if you're interested in that, it would be great to put on your resume. They love seeing teaching of technical skills. Then by all means, scan that QR code and check out the workshop committee. And as you'll also see, there is the deadline for the fundraising chair and project chair is tomorrow. So if you're still interested in filling those positions, then make sure to get your applications in now. And you can scroll up in the announcements channel to do so.
Also, this Thursday, we'll be at the Spring Virtual Organization Fair. It's from 5:30 to 7. If you're going there anyways, feel free to stop by. We'd love to talk to you and answer any questions you might have. And also, we'll have Lead Code Day starting next Thursday. If you went to our Lead Code Day last semester, it's going to be a lot like that. It's basically going to be where we'll be holding each other accountable to go through Lead Code problems week by week and also going over solutions to Lead Code problems during those meetings. It should be a really great way to prepare for interviews, as well as just develop technically and learn more. You don't have to have taken data structures and algorithms to participate by any means. And even if you have taken data structures and algorithms, it'll still be really useful to brush up on your knowledge and prepare for interviews. So we hope to see you there. And also, you will get a lot of things thrown at you at this meeting. We have a lot of things coming up, which is really exciting. And we also have a public calendar to help you keep track of that. QR code's there. We'll release it after the meeting too, if you prefer. So yeah.
Yeah, and finally, if you didn't manage to get a fall t-shirt last semester, semester, we still have extras on sale, currently modeled by me on the slide or Drew in his camera. They're on sale for $13. If you want one, go ahead and hit me up on Slack at Bob for the details on how to get that arranged. I know there were a couple shirts as well from last semester that never got picked up. So if you're somebody that we've been struggling to get in contact with, hit me up as well, and we will get you that shirt. But yes, hit those QR codes, hit me up for a shirt.
Awesome. All right, so we'll start by introducing all of our chairs. They'll introduce themselves and go over stuff they have coming up.
Hi, everybody. I'm Fatima Alfasi. I'm the marketing chair for 2021 at ACE. I'll just talk a little bit about myself for just a minute or so. I'm a third-year computer engineering major. I actually transferred to UF from Santa Fe College, so I found ACE to be really helpful to feel like integrated a little bit with the students at UF, because like when I joined, it was summer, everything was online, and I didn't like have the chance to meet up with people face to face. So this has been like immensely helpful. A few of my hobbies, I guess, I love playing video games, especially like retro games. And I do casually speedrun. I'm not competitive at all in the speedrunning community, but I do like to challenge myself to keep beating my scores. I also enjoy baking and like making cookies and cakes and stuff. I like to barbecue. I love watching soccer. I like spending time outdoors, especially in this kind of weather when it's not like mosquito-y. And I do like going around town and just cafe crawling and seeing what sort of little places you can get coffee or pastries or anything to drink. And I'm looking forward to my summer internship with Texas Instruments. Since I'm marketing chair, I do want to plug our club, of course. So if you want to get reminders for all our events, just send a text, a text message saying @UFAs to 81010, and we'll be sure to remind you of all our events for the future. Thank you.
Hey guys, my name is Jack. I'm this year's art chair, and I'm a second year student studying computer science. I just got a part-time internship role at the agency, and I also got into Genshin Impact over the winter break, and that's what I've been spending my time on. I also got into baking over quarantine. I have a picture of that pastry bread over there. It's not my picture, but those are Korean hot dog buns. I made my own version of that. So yeah.
Hey guys, I'm going to be filling in for Nandini because she is in India right now. And if you know anything about time zones, it's a little after 5 a.m. there. So Nandini is the outreach chair. She's a first year computer science major, and she wants to pursue a second major in mathematics. She's really into art, loves sketching, likes watercolors, digital art, but does not like oil paints. She also likes cooking and baking, binge watching TV shows, and eating. And she loves animals as well, as you can see by her pet Bond. Contact her at Nandini on Slack, and her email is outreach.uf.ace@gmail.com. She is the outreach chair. And as Fatima has already mentioned, guys, please join the UF ACE Slack. That's where we post all our announcements to every event that we have at uf-ace.slack.com. You can also follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/GatorAce. And uf-ace.com is our actual website for the club's work. Thank you.
Hey guys, I'm Nicholas Esposito. I'm the mentorship chair. I'm a first year data science major, so I really got into ACE as I was looking for kind of a way to get started with my freshman year. I'm looking to pursue a double major in computer science. I love to travel with my friends and my family. My favorite place to travel is Chicago or maybe New York City. And then I'm a big sports guy, whether it's playing sports, watching sports. Takes up a lot of my free time. If you need to contact me, just at Nick Esposito on Slack.
Is Dom here or no? We might have to circle back around. Yeah, it looks like he's not here. We'll circle back around to Dom. Let's see.
Hi, everyone. I'm Grant Wise, and I'm the social chair this year. And so I'm a third-year computer science major and economics minor. And so you're probably going to hear this a few times from a lot of people here, but big sports guy. I play soccer, and I'm going to try to join the Club Ultimate Frisbee team here. And then love watching sports too. Big Colts and Rays fan. Outside of that, I am really big into reading, lobstering. I go down to the Keys every year for season, and animals. You can even see in like the corner of one of my slides there, her pictures. There's a dog that all my roommates and I, mostly one of my roommates, is fostering for a little bit for Southeastern Guide dogs. And the thing about me, I'm really big into hackathons. So make sure to go to Swamp Hacks, which is coming up here, not this weekend, but next weekend, and just get involved with that. And then just things to look out for. We have a lot of fun socials coming up throughout the semester. We already had one, and it was a lot of fun. So make it out to the next one. And if you ever need to, just contact me on Slack at GrantWise.
Hello, so I am Nathan Hilton, and I'm the academic chair this year. Some things about me: I'm a third-year computer science major with a minor in business administration, and once again, another sports fan. Two favorite sports are basketball and football, and once again, I like dogs. Picture of the same dog, Marston, a very good boy. What is it? Also
That's Norman,
go Jaguars.
Not Marston.
Oh. Norman. Wow. Too many guide dogs in my head. What else? Go Jaguars. And some things to look out for this semester is I'm going to try and get a professor to come give a presentation about something they're interested in. Maybe it's their research. Maybe it's a class they're into, just something they want to talk about. I'm going to send a Google form in the chat as well as make an announcement. If you have any professors, any ones you want me to reach out to, feel free to put them in there and I'll reach out to them. And I will let you know about any updates I get in the Slack channel. And contact me on Slack at Nathan Hilton.
All right, guys, my name is Shirag Narang. I'm a second-year computer science major, and I'm also minoring in business admin. And I guess the running theme here is sports fans, so I also am a sports fan. I played soccer my entire life. I'm a big football fan, go Patriots, as you can see from the picture there. I like fishing, as you can see from that really pathetic fish in that picture. And I love trying new coding challenges, so like LeetCode and stuff like that. So yeah, for this semester, look out for weekly LeetCode days, as was mentioned earlier. Different workshops could include like upperclassmen, project demos, and other interesting coding topics that people can bring up. And then obviously much more. So last thing I wanted to mention was the workshop committee. I know it was mentioned earlier as well, and the QR code is in the bottom right corner. Again, same QR code from the beginning. And yeah, so like this is like something that we want creative people for, come up with workshop ideas, help plan and host them. And it's a great chance to network with different people in ACE, and obviously good for your resume. So definitely consider applying to it. Applications are already out, so apply as soon as possible. If you have any questions, reach out to me on Slack at Shirag Narang. Thank you.
All right. Before doing this, let me just read Dom's slide. I don't know if he's here yet, actually. But I'll go over it for him. So if you haven't met Dom, he's awesome. He's a third-year computer engineer, and he will be interning at Lockheed this summer. He's big into cooking, swimming, and video games. I can attest to all three. And he looks forward to doing workshops on digital image and behavioral interviews, so things like LinkedIn and a personal portfolio website and stuff like that. Also giving consistent resume help, which will be coming up soon, actually. And he'll be working on information sessions and organization collaborations as well as we move through the semester. If you need him, he's at Dom on Slack.
All right, guys. So here are all our upcoming events for the month of January and a little bit into February. So if you don't know already, if you're electrical or computer engineering, the UF ECE Spring Virtual Career Fair is January 26th to 28th. scheduling meetings now, you have to register before the actual career fair, as it is on Zoom and it's virtual. January 27th is the ACE mentorship forms. These forms will go out next week on the 27th, which will serve as a way for us to start pairing mentors and mentees for our mentorship program. If you're interested in being a mentor or a mentee, please fill out these forms when they get released. As Greg has already mentioned, and a few other chairs, the first Leak Code Day will be January 28th. So if you're interested in just doing like group Leak Codes, feel free to attend to that event. Our resume career workshop will be in association with the mentorship chair. So it'll be a little bit after that mentorship form goes out. It's going to be, I believe, our first event for the mentorship after mentors and mentees have been paired up. So if you're interested in that, just get on the Slack and we'll announce you. And the last thing is, if you're any SciC major, their spring virtual career fair is going to be on February 1st. So exact same thing as the ECE, but just for SciC majors. And you also have to go ahead and register online early for that as well. Now, the link that you see at the bottom is the ACE calendar that we're going to be updating with all our events for the entire semester. We're trying to get at least 1 to 2 events every week, so that keeps you guys engaged, obviously with this COVID semester going on and everything virtual. And last but not least, I know we've mentioned it a few times, there is an opening in the workshop chair application. It should be in the Zoom chat. If not, it'll also be in the Slack. But the deadline for that is tomorrow. So if you guys are interested, if somebody's interested in being the workshop chair, and I think one other position is open as well, feel free to go ahead and apply there.
Yeah, those chair positions are a great way to get involved, get a resume booster, and not a lot of workload. So if you're interested in getting more involved in ACE and things like that, hit us up.
All right, so now today we have Accenture joining us today for an info session. Is Miss Sandra Chavez in the Zoom? If so, Sandra, you can go ahead and unmute yourself, and we'll give the floor to you.
Okay, hi everyone. How are you all doing? Happy first GBM. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Okay, thumbs up. Awesome. So thanks so much for having me today. I'm really excited to be with you all today. As you don't have to call me Miss Chavez or Miss Sandra. My name is Sandra. And I'm very happy to be with you all today. I want this session to be as interactive as possible. So feel free to go off mute as I go through the presentation, or just type in the chat box. I'd be more than happy to answer any questions you may have or any comments. So today I'll be sharing a little bit about my career journey, and of course sharing a little bit about what we do here at Accenture, and hopefully I plant a little seed for you all to join us, want to join us next summer, whether it's an internship or a full-time job. I know Accenture is super new for a lot of engineering majors, but we've been around for a really long time, and I can assure you that it's truly a great company to be a part of. So let's get started. Of course. So first, my name is Sandra Chavez. I was born in Lima, Peru, so South America. I moved to the US when I was 7 years old, so you can say that I've been very much Americanized, but never really forgetting where I come from, right? I think we are such in a unique position to be able to move from a country and really try to contribute to the United States. So I've been here for quite a while. I wanted to share with you all a little bit about my family. So as you can see, I have my parents, my brother, and my grandmother. My brother is taller than me, but we are 9 years apart. So welcome to my family. I have the honor and privilege of being a 2-time Gator. I was in your shoes a few years ago where I got my undergrad and my master's in information systems. So I heard a lot of business minors. So I was a business major and landed in technology, and I'll be sharing with that in a little bit. So as I mentioned, I'm from Lima, Peru, and here's a little picture of when I was little. I still have the same face. So of course, I wanted to bring you all into my journey, right? As I mentioned, I was in your shoes not too long ago, and through each milestone, my family was there with me, and there was a lot of great things that I look back and I'm just so proud of. And one of them is being a two-time Gator. I also did want to share that throughout, since I was 16 years old, I've been working and doing a lot of the things that you're all doing, being super involved. So this is me at one of my first jobs at SeaWorld when I was 16. I know there's like a little bit of a controversy over SeaWorld, but I was in the games and I want to again to share that with you all. And I was very involved on campus. So I love that all of you are here at the first GBM of ACE, because I know that that will really set the tone for the rest of your experience for the semester and at the University of Florida. So I really want to encourage you all to apply and get super involved with ACE so that you can really build on that and continue to foster those relationships and network with all the great companies that are coming to your meetings. And because I was super involved, when I was in college, I actually got to meet former President Barack Obama, which was, again, pretty interesting because I was not a United States citizen at that time. So it was very interesting to be part of his group in this important speech here in Florida, and just me being like, hey, I didn't really vote for you because I couldn't, but it's still such an honor to do so. And because I was super involved on campus, whenever there were trips and all of those cool, neat opportunities, people kept me in mind. So I got to travel to London. I got to go to China and Japan and a lot of other neat countries, just because I was involved and always at the right place at the right time. So of course, now that you've heard a little bit about me, I want to obviously share why I am here. And a few years ago, I was a struggling, college student thinking of what do I want to do with my career? Where do I want to start off? And it was really important that I found something that was not only in the technology space, but that was truly making an impact in our communities, whether you realized it or not. So a company whose mission really I can resonate with me. And that's what I actually found at Accenture a few years ago. So I've been with the company for about two years or so, and I'm really happy where I've landed. So I'm part of our technology business group. And what that means is, so Accenture is a really big company. There's like 500,000 plus of us in the entire world, and we all belong to different businesses within the company. We're one Accenture, but I belong to our technology practice. So does anyone know what consulting is? You can go off mute, share with me your thoughts. I'd love to hear you. Any brave souls? What is consulting? Consult with others. Dom, yes. Anyone else want to take a stab? No, we won't judge you over here. This is a safe zone. Grant, what do you think?
About consulting? It's basically just you're going over there to give advice about a certain subsector material or something that they don't have knowledge on.
That's a good guess. We have John getting hired by a company to work as an outsider. It's a good way to put it. Greg is saying go Grant, providing advice, professional advice. Yes, so it's a little bit of everything that you're all mentioning. So in consulting, we are brought in as what we call subject matter experts, even though we might not be experts, right? But we really try our best to stay on top of what are some new trends, what is going on in our technology space. So we're brought in to really either facilitate a new modernization, implementation, and they could deal with a variety of problems. So Accenture is so large, and because we have so many people with different expertises, our clients are reaching out to us pretty much from mobile applications to risk management strategy, change management, and a lot of other neat things in the technology space. So that's really what makes the type of consulting that we do very special. So really, when clients have tried to approach a problem, they probably tried, but because they didn't have the right strategy and the right planning, they probably made things a little bit more difficult for themselves, right? So they've made a bigger mess out of a problem that was, maybe medium sized or so, and they need extra help. So typically they call us in when they have a problem that they just truly cannot solve for themselves and need experts in the field and more hands. So sometimes they need a team of 5 people, sometimes it's a team of 300. So in my case, I'm actually in a group of I have 2 different clients. I work in our financial services industry. So I work for a lot of banks that you probably all have in your wallet at this very moment. I work in DevOps, so a lot of migrating to manage pipelines so that you can have automated releases, automating scanning. So I'm in that space, but also in the legacy world. So our clients are at different stages of the technology landscape. So it's important that not only are we really doing great things with what's new and what's next, but also keeping the lights on at some of our clients and hoping that they'll begin to modernize sooner rather than later. So Accenture is here to help with any big problem. We have the hands, we have the expertise to be able to solve it. So as I mentioned, there are 500 plus of us. And in my team, for example, I have team members in Argentina, in Mexico, in India, and of course, all over the United States, just for one account. Sometimes you have really niche technologies, and majority of the people in a certain space have that expertise, so we'll bring them along and adjust to the time zone and really work as one team to make sure that our clients have whatever they need. We are present in 200 plus cities. So any major hub that you can think of here in the United States, we're most likely present. I'm based out of Tampa, Florida, and I work with people in Tampa, in Orlando, in Atlanta, in all over the United States, as I mentioned. And obviously our presence is worldwide in over 120 countries. Something that I do really want to point out is that one of the things that makes Accenture special is that our top 95 clients have been with us for 10 years. So we really care about being present with your client, but nurturing that relationship with them to where they feel like we are their trusted advisor, their trusted partner in everything that they do. So again, anything from technology space, but also people management. So far, are there any questions? Do you all have any curiosities on what is consulting or questions about Accenture so far? I'd love to hear you all. Don't be shy.
Yeah, sure. I'll go ahead. So how do you guys end up selecting what specific fields or disciplines you choose to consult for? Is that something you're picked on talent, or is it more interest?
Right. So that's a really good question. So when you join Accenture, you are aligned to, if you're from coming out of college, you are actually aligned to a development program. So we have our consulting and strategy program, and we have our technology development program, and we have, I think it's called analyst development program. So there's a variety of programs. And that just means that you are basically reporting to a business within Accenture. And what that means to you is that you belong to a business, but truly what matters is your skill set and your career aspirations. So we are project based. So you've heard those LDP programs. We have something very similar, but truly your career journey here at Accenture, it's like an LDP program if you want it to be. So once you join, you'll be interviewing for roles here. So depending on what our clients' needs are, you'll be put into a project if you meet that skill set, if you meet that client requirement, and you have a start date and you have an end date. So once that project comes to an end, you'll interview for the next role and so on. Does that make sense, Dom?
Yeah, no, it does.
Awesome. Any other questions, curiosity so far?
So with getting to work on multiple projects like that, it sounds like you have a bunch of variety, right? In terms of what you get to work on. So like, you're not just working on the same thing for 2 or 3 years. Like you get to move around and kind of choose the roles that you want to apply for.
That is correct. And I think that's what really one of the reasons why Accenture sold, like for me, right? It was truly the best place because I do need to be kept entertained. I think that once you get good at something, right, I stop thriving. I thrive in the uncomfortable and the ambiguity. So because we do have to move around, and sometimes your projects, right? Like one of my clients, I've been assigned to them for a year and a half. But because I am a steady team member, my managing director put me on another project that's new, so I can continue to learn and be exposed to new technologies and to new people. So yes, you constantly have to learn something new. You have to adapt to all of those good things. Does that kind of like tie in with your comment, Greg?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, of course. Anyone else? Questions, comments, thoughts? Are you all getting Zoom fatigue yet? Everybody's like, maybe. Okay, awesome. So we'll just continue. So another thing that's really special about Accenture is the fact that you are not going to be married to a specific technology. So right now I work in AWS environment, I work in IBM environments and Confluence pages and all of these neat technologies. So typically when you think of getting a job, you think, oh, like I'll work for SAP, and that's the same, technology that's your product that you have to work with every day. For us, we have major partnerships with everyone listed on here. So if you really want to work for our IBM practice, you can. Oh, so Dom, you mentioned one of your questions was like, how do you get a role, right? How are you staffed? Well, we are aligned to a business, but within each business, we have a specific practice for you. So I happen to just be aligned to our delivery practice. So because I work more in the strategy side of the house, but my managing directors are aligned to our IBM practice, and in my other account, they're aligned to AWS. So that's something really cool. I don't know if you all were able to join us in the past, but we have had workshops where we had our partners from AWS come and co-present with us to you all here at the University of Florida. So if you don't want to get married to a technology, right, what a wonderful place it is, Accenture, because you can continuously move around, be exposed. And I can share that when I first joined, I thought I would be working in customer insights and data and analytics, because that's what we hear a lot about at UF, right? It's a constant, oh, data is a great thing. But when you come here, there's just so many things that you are exposed to that you're like, oh, I thought I knew, but I should probably get to enjoy the exposure and the new learnings and maybe realign what it is that you want to make your career out of. So this is one of my favorite parts. As I mentioned, I work with AWS, I work with IBM. We have our Google partners. If you want to work for Google, we have a partnership here with Google. And I hope that's really, resonates with you, because that's what keeps us excited. And today, AWS might be the greatest thing, but tomorrow might not be. So we want to make sure that we have the right structure around our business to be able to pivot whenever that time comes. So I think, so we see Greg says one of the workshops was an info session plus designing an app. Yes, the one we did on paper. Right, a few years ago. Yes, I remember. So we wanted to try out something interesting, right? And so Greg is mentioning a few years ago or 2 years ago, we went to UF and we were all in person, and we gave you all a problem and you had to work with teams, whoever was sitting next to you. So you could know them or not know them. You had to team up with them and figure out what's the best solution for this problem in the as a mobile application. So those are the type of things that we do encounter with our clients. So we wanted to see, what are you all capable of, right, in a very quick time frame. So I briefly mentioned it, but I am in our change management side of the house and strategy of technology. So I have a team of 250 at this point, developers, testers, really, really smart computer engineers, computer scientists, and I'm on the consulting side of the house. So I work with our CIO, with our chief of product, with our chief of data to ensure that we're meeting their strategy, their goals, their vision, using us as a partner. So whenever we have new opportunities, whenever we are doing those sessions, those planning and ensuring that we are on the same page as to what is a target solution, I'm usually involved in those co-creation sessions. With that said, I do have here that change is scary, right? People are sometimes hesitant to change and don't want to embrace it. But for us here at Accenture, this is something that's truly special and dear to us. We embrace change. So if this is, again, something that keeps you excited, definitely encourage you to find out more about us. So I'm in change management, and what that means is that I try to influence our clients in the way that they are approaching new experiences when it comes to technology. So one of my clients is in the legacy environment, and moving them to the public cloud has been quite a challenge. But working through them and listening to their concerns and mapping up a roadmap together, what's called co-creation, we're able to influence the way that they see the future. So I really love it. I'm very much a good observer, and I love to co-create with my clients. It can be a little bit difficult because you have to merge the people, the technology, all to fit in the right place. But that's exactly why we have such a large team, because everyone has their own expertise and we come together to really create that future for the client. So a day in the life, right? So I gave you a little bit of insight, but I also wanted to share with you a few of my my peers from a few projects ago. So I work in financial services, and at first I was traveling and hopping on a plane Monday through Thursday. I thought I was the coolest thing ever. You'd see like this very senior people hopping on a plane as priority, and then there's me, right? So I really found that experience to be so eye-opening and a new thing that I didn't get to do before. So typically my days do start pretty early, and that's because I have a team in India. In the time zone, we want to be very, very cautious of how late we ask them to stay. It's typically emails, it's typically stand-up. So a person usually would attend one stand-up. I have about 5 or so. If I really, I'm keeping the minimum, the required ones that I have to attend. I meet with my managing directors, both in the United States and in India. And again, ensuring that things are moving, that everyone's delivering, that we're meeting timelines. If there's roadblocks, let's figure that out and let's problem solve for those. So it's typically stand up, solving problems. There's usually some type of session that we have to figure out. How do we want to approach a situation, approach a problem, which I can assure you that we see problems every single day. So thank goodness we're all consultants. And something else that I'm really proud of is that Accenture is very much focused on its people. So you know how there are companies who sell hardware, right? Who sell software. Our product are our people. So every single person matters here at Accenture. We want to make sure that you feel like you have a sense of belonging, that you're being appreciated for your work, and that your career aspirations are actually meaningful, right? They mean something to you, and therefore it means something for Accenture. Another way that they try to take care of us and ensure that we are networking and fostering genuine relationships is through our employee resource group. So I am still very young in my career, but I was the person, who emailed the CEO the second day of school or of my career here at Accenture. And I'm like, hey, David, that's our former CEO, told him all about me, and basically said, you have to remember my name. And I was very fortunate where I did get a reply, and that really encouraged me to put myself out there. And one of the goals that I had was to be a leader in our Hispanic employee resource group. And I actually got to do that last year. So less than a year into my career at Accenture, and I was appointed as the co-lead. It's really telling of how much Accenture, it doesn't matter if you've been here a few weeks. All that matters is how much work are you putting into this. You'll be recognized for that, and which is something that I'm so grateful for. And of course, I tried to share with you a little bit about my life and about my peers and about what I do. But truly, it's all about the people. At Accenture, we really value inclusion, we value equity, we value diversity, we value people for who you are and what you come and where you come from. So I mentioned managing director a few times. He is what I call my boss, with a very dearest, connotation. He is one of my closest friends. I call him my best friend all the time, because even though we're very different, I've been working with him for about 2 years now, since I started at Accenture. And he's been the biggest advocator. He will always, be there for me. And I just really love working for him and working with him. Once you build that rapport here at Accenture, I truly believe that there's a lot of opportunity. Yes, you have to, be intelligent. Yes, you have to go through a difficult interview, and it's very competitive, but I do feel like it's worth it. And I hope that all of you kind of feel that same way too, whenever it's your turn. So that's all I wanted to share with you all today. I know that you've been in Zoom class all day. We're gonna do that. So I didn't want to spend too much time. So do you all have any questions for me? I'd love to, answer them if I can, or direct you to someone that will be able to.
I have a pretty common question you probably are getting asked a lot right now. What does your work look like in this COVID era? I'm assuming it's probably all virtual and stuff, and I'm just curious about your communication, things like that.
Yeah, so Accenture has always, as I mentioned, embraced change, and we're constantly seeking what is next. So we actually do this a lot already before we all had to work from home. So all of our North America team, for the most part, is equipped to work from home. We have the collaboration tools, so we have whiteboarding tools. We have everything is in Office 365. I know you all were using the Google Suite, right? But here we use the Microsoft Suite. And so we were prepared. With that said, a lot of our clients were not. One of my client that's on the legacy environment, they were, moving desktops, because some people didn't have laptops. A lot of things are on premises. So how can we shut off buttons when we can't be physically present? So in the way that we deliver, right, if anything was in a virtual machine, we were able to do things. But if something was on a physical server, then we had several delays before we could actually deploy or shut the lights off for those servers. So I think in the terms of how are we strategizing, we have the right tools, but how are our clients actually, how are they getting used to it? I think that took a little bit of time, but with the right coaching and the right kind of communication, it's been, pretty worthwhile. It's very interesting because now we are starting new projects 100% virtual, and there's people that are like on the phone with their teammates for like a million hours, because we're so used to being in person, right? So it's been interesting, but I do think that we were prepared. Thank you, Greg. Anyone else? Questions, comments, thoughts?
Earlier, you were talking about the employee resource groups, the ERGs. And I was really curious if they did any sort of outreach work within those, like within the community or anything, or like do those specifically do outreach?
Yes. So for students and for the community as a whole, we do. There's a few things here in Tampa that we've been able to do, like donating toys for local charities and all of those good things for students. We do a lot of speaking engagements. And what's really cool is we've actually started a day of learning. So last semester we did AWS Day of Learning. We're hopefully going to do a Microsoft Azure, and you get to walk away with a certificate of completion, like, hey, you attended this, congrats. And then you get to have access to more people who work here at Accenture. So we do donation drives, we do a lot of socials as well, and we try to do as many things as possible for the community. Thank you, Grant. Of course. Anything else?
I know you mentioned the interviewing process is really competitive. Do you have any tips on how to approach that, especially since like it's kind of hard to prepare for like behavioral-esque interviews?
Yeah, so I actually prepared like crazy, and I still have all of my folders. Accenture was my #1 company, and what I what I actually did when it comes to behavioral, I looked up all the top 30 like behavioral questions, and the STAR method. So I tried to do bullet points for each, for the S, for the T, and so on, right? So I did that for behavioral. And then when it comes to the case, the good news is we no longer do case interviews. So what our new process is, there is a type of test. I can't remember what it's called at this very moment, but you'll take that test, and then once you're done, I don't want an assessment, we're going to call it an assessment. Once you're done with that, then you'll be asked to please select your top 3 locations, and that will truly determine whether you get an interview or not, because it all depends on what the office is currently needing. So do they need more technologists? Do they need this? Do they need that? If the answer is no, then that kind of impacts your chances of getting an interview. And then once you've been selected for an interview, you'll do a behavioral and then a closing. The closing, you do have to do a it's like a 10-minute presentation on a problem and how are you going to approach it. But you're giving the problem ahead of time so that you can prepare for it. So for my cases, I obviously studied like crazy. I practice a bit, but you want to prepare, and have some very like thoughtful questions. When it's your turn to ask. Another thing too that I did, and I encourage you all to kind of get comfortable with it. I typically before you start asking your questions as the interviewee, I will say, hey, just want to make sure we're on the same page. Is there anything that I can clear up for you that I need to expand upon, or do you have any feedback for me so far? Want to make sure we're on the same page. So that's really important here at Accenture. If you want to be a consultant, at the end of every meeting, you are going to have to summarize what you've done, what you've learned, and what are your next steps. So you want to make sure you're always on the same page as your client. So it's something that I encourage you to do in your interviews as well.
Hey, fantastic. Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course, Dom. Does anyone else have a question?
I had one about the locations. So I know you said you work at the Tampa office. Is there specific offices that recruit just from UF or mainly from UF? And does it depend on what sort of sector you want to go into? Like what factors go into it?
Yeah, so it's we used to recruit for the South market from the University of Florida, but now the whole country's accessible for students from UF. So you're no longer restricted to the South market. With that said, if you are looking for a very busy office, right, where a lot of people apply, it's a little bit more competitive. But typically you'll be asked to pick a development program. If you don't mind which one you're aligned to, you don't have to answer that. You can leave that blank, so you open up yourself for a little bit more options.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, of course, John. Anyone else? Questions, comments?
I guess I have a more general question, but I always like to ask people, like, what's your favorite part of your job or like your day-to-day work? And what's like your least favorite part, and like how do you deal with those challenges? Because I know everyone gets excited to do the job they've always wanted to do, and then when we face the parts that we don't like, sometimes like I find myself not really knowing how to feel. So how do you handle the challenges as well?
Yeah, so my favorite, it's, the common one, the people. I really, really love my managing director. He has truly been my biggest supporter since I've started my career, and not just from a professional sense, but also from a personal one. There's days that are hard, right? There's a lot going on in our country, and that impacts people differently. And so sometimes I don't have productive days, and I feel like I can be honest about it. Like, hey, I'm used to being 120% productive. Today I was at a low 70, right? And he constantly reminds me that no one's supposed to be 120% productive every single day, right? You're not supposed to be getting everything perfect. We didn't hire you for that. So it's constantly reminding me and giving me that encouragement that I feel like I need personally. With that said, I think when you start any account, it's very challenging. Every time I start a strategy assessment, it is hard. And they're usually a month or 2 months. So that's a really short amount of time where you have to plan out what the next 4 or 5 years look like for your client. So there's a lot of pieces. So that can be challenging. It's a lot of organization skills. It's a lot of communication. It's a lot of going back and forth with your client to make sure that we're meeting their goals. So they're tough. There's really tough days, and it's sometimes new people, right? New subject matter experts. And my dog's crying for some reason, so you might be hearing him in the background. And the way that I deal with it is I usually tell my MD how I'm feeling, and I validate, like, is this something to be worried about? Is this something not to be worried about? And see where his head is at. And then the second piece is I do have to code from time to time, right? I do have to query large databases, and I'm not the bestest, right, at it. I'm not the greatest person, but getting to a point of completion usually takes me a little bit longer. So there'll be times where I'll sit for hours and just stare. There's times where, I'm just kind of like, well, how do I even get started? So it's constantly like understanding that you do have people who know how to do this. Reach out to them if you're ever stuck. But usually it's like when I start a new project, it's really rough, or when I have to get very technical in the work that I do, also very rough for me.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, no, everyone has that time when they're just staring at the computer and they're like, I'm frozen. I don't know. So yeah, it's nothing to be like, it's nothing to feel bad about. We're all there. We've all been there, and we're all going to be there every few times. Yeah. Thank you though. Thank you very much for your answer.
Yeah, of course. Greg, so I know that we have 5 minutes left. I want to be mindful. I'm not sure if you all have closing remarks, or we can continue with questions, however you'd like to proceed.
We can continue with questions if there's any. I'll have a big follow-up message regarding the stuff we talked about in this meeting, as well as all the slides. So just so everybody knows. But if there's any more questions, we can continue. So yeah.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Thoughts? Okay.
All right. Looks like we're done. Thank you so much, Sandra. If everybody can give her a big hand, clapping or reactions. Thank you so much for coming to speak with us.
Yeah,
really appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Awesome. So that concludes the meeting, everyone. Like I said, we'll send out a message regarding all the events we announced and information we covered. I hope you guys have a great evening, and hopefully we can see you guys later this week. Also, don't forget, if you want to become a chair yourself, the deadline is tomorrow night to apply for fundraising and project share.
Thank you, guys.
All right.
Have a good one.
Go Gators.
Thanks, and see ya. Go Gators.